This is my workshop. This is supposed to be my workbench. And this is supposed to be a floor. And as you can see, it is none of those right now. I haven't really been working on stuff, and things have just started to get piled and dumped, and you grab something, you don't put it back. Everything is just a complete mess. And lately, I've been wanting to make some things, but I have no way to make them. So today, we're going to be tidying all of this up. I did start the other day, and all I did was make 2 shelves, and then went and slept. But today we're going to get at it. Today this whole thing needs to be cleaned out. We'll go Bunnings, we'll buy some storage boxes and everything, and just get this place ready to make some cool ass shit. Now with things like this, I really have no idea where to start. We have boxes and drills and clamps and a vacuum and map gas, cables and scrap. We have refrigerant. We have a differential, a fire extinguisher. It made the best sense for me to start with the floor and just clear up space so I can at least walk around and the floor is at least visible. Now I do have a lot of storage elsewhere, but I don't really know how all these things end up on the floor. But right now I'm just sorting out stuff into things I want to keep, rubbish to throw away, and some scrap metal that I can sell. There were a bunch of things like this crate here that I have no idea where it came from or what was in it, but it had some random parts that I sorted out. It had these extension cords with missing ends, which I just wrapped up and stored away. You can see me shoving a lot of things behind me, but sometimes that's what tidying really is. It's just moving some things to another place in a more tidy way. However, these things are gonna go on a shelf. I picked up most of the big rubbish and then swept up the rest, and then just used a leaf blower to blow away all the dust. After that, there was this little patch of glue on the floor which was collecting a bunch of dirt, so I sprayed it down with degreaser and then used this metal blade to just scrape away as much as I can, and then use a brush drill attachment to clean up as much as I can. It did end up leaving a stain, but it is a workshop, so I wasn't too fussed about it. Okay, the floor is now all clean. We cleared everything out. I threw away a bunch of stuff, but I still do have quite a few things. I have some shelving under here that I made before, so we're gonna try to fit all that into there. If not, then we're gonna have to make shelves over here, which I don't really want to do because I sit here and my legs are here. So I want that little bit of leg. I want that little bit of leg room. Now that the floor is clear, I can start putting things onto the shelves, and now I have space to also walk around and tidy up on top of the bench. This box of screws is an absolute nightmare. This used to be a perfectly well arranged box of screws, but the thing with this box is when you pick it up on its side, and if the lids aren't closed properly, it opens up and explodes all the screws everywhere. So here I am picking out each and every single screw and organizing them. Going into this, the goal was just to tidy the place up and bring it back to how it was, but I thought while I'm at it, I might as well upgrade it and make it a better space to be in. Okay, so we're going to be making a quick trip to Bunnings because my plan is to get all these tools and files and everything and put it up on a pegboard over here. And yeah, Bunnings has quite a cheap one, and we're just gonna probably buy the biggest one we have. This is 110 by 130. After like 30, hello? It's kind of awkward. I'm gonna start recording once we're actually like in between the aisles because it's embarrassing. Okay, it's not bad. How much is this? 1.2 by 1.2. Oh, it's 1.3 by. Oh, we're gonna have to cut a bit off, which is fine. So we know where they are, which is good. We're gonna go look for the pigs itself, and then the drill bit shop. So the pig boards are in aisle 6, and the pigs itself are said to be on the other side of the shop, which they're actually not, because I can't see them. Oh, I do see them, but they don't look like they're for the hang on, I just realized I can search this up. They have 32 hooks in a pack for $7, which is bang on. Aisle 8, bay 9. I was sent to aisle 44. Thank you, Bunnings. So what aisle? Aisle 8. Let's go to aisle 8. I'm not even sure how I'm gonna mount them because the wall that I'm mounting them to is concrete, and I always use nylon anchors for everything. That's what I've learned. That's the only thing I know. But because I have to put like a flashing on before I put the particle board on or pegboard on, the nylon anchors aren't gonna grab on enough because it's not long enough. So we'll have to figure something out. Okay, so we were just gonna get the 32 pack, but I decided to also get the assorted kit, and I don't really want to carry all this right now, so I'm gonna go chop this where the pegboard is, and then we're gonna go look for the drill bit shop now. And I still don't know how I'm gonna carry all of this. Chop this guy over here. And we will be back for it if it's still there, which it should be. I don't know how I'm gonna take the camera with me. Okay, we got everything loaded up. It was a bit of a hassle. I did have to do 2 trips, but that's okay. So, let's go home. Okay. Just got home. Not too much traffic, but it was alright. We'll go unload the stuff now and probably start working on it now, actually. So I'll go put all of this away first. Do I want to leave you guys on the side of the road? Okay, I'll be quick. Don't go anywhere. Okay, let's try not to break this thing because it feels like it's breakable. Dang. Teabag. Okay, we have the board laid out. I'm just gonna mark out 100 mil and then we'll chop it up. I don't have a track saw or a straight edge long enough, but I think I can just freehand it. I think. Let me get my safety glasses. There you go. Okay, so in order to mount this onto our concrete wall, we're going to use some flashing of sorts so we can screw it into the flashing. I am going to go cut these back up because flashing is too long now. So I won't show you guys that. I won't bore you guys. But yeah, we'll go cut this up and I'll be back. Okay. We've got these cut down to size. And now we're gonna add a countersink recess thing to them. We are using these bolts. What you do is you drill a hole for this, hammer this in, this comes in, and as you screw it, this splits apart and wedges inside. Now the thing is, because we have this, which we're going to mount using this, as you can see that sticks, the bolt head is going to stick out about that much. So we're going to get our spade bit and drill a recess for this bolt to stick into. So let's mark these out and then do that. When you have a space that you like being in and enjoy working in, especially when it's tailored to you and built by you, I find that it really drives you to make things and be in the workshop as well as stay in the workshop. When my workshop used to get messy, I still used to work and sort of squeeze myself in there, but over time it gets messier and messier and I found that I want to be in there less, and eventually I just didn't want to be in there at all, which is why I stopped making things. So the goal is to make this a nice place to be in and then start making things again. So here's our pegboard all hung up, and ready for things to be organized on it. We have a mess on this bench right here. And all this, as you can see, I was just playing around with the hooks a bit. There's a few hooks up there. But all this mess now has to get organized nicely on this board. The way we're going to go about this is all the easily accessible stuff is going to go down at the bottom. And then the harder to reach stuff, the less used stuff is going to go on top. Yeah, so we'll start off with like files and just hand tools and stuff, and then work our way up. These aren't all the files I have. I have a bunch more files that I put in a box, and just kept one of each that I always use on the wall. You can see me adjusting these hooks here, just to make sure everything sits well on the wall, and they won't come falling off when I'm working on the bench. You can see me putting things on and taking them back off just to move the hook over by one hole, but I just want to make sure everything's perfectly aligned, and as well as have efficient storage, I also want this to look pretty neat on the wall. The assorted kit that I bought came with these shelving brackets that you typically put a piece of wood over. I'm just drilling holes here to make sure the wood sits perfectly flat and it won't be moving around. This thing gave me a nice neat place to put all my batteries and keep them within reach. Since the batteries are here, I decided to mount all my drills and impact driver right above them so they're sort of close together. The flashing that we use to mount the boards up prevents some of the higher hooks from hooking in. So here I'm just drilling holes to make space for the hooks, and that way I can hang up my welding helmet and my face shield. My face shield and welding helmet don't get used often, which is why I'm putting it higher up and sort of out of reach. I do use my clamp quite often, but it is quite long and I can easily grab it from off the floor without having to climb up onto my bench. This time around, I'm tidying up after each and every step to prevent this place from turning into a shithole again. I decided to use an offcut to put up another board. This is going to hold all my longer objects, such as my levels, and maybe some more clamps that I get in the future. The process for this was exactly the same, except I decided to mount the bottom flashing with a different mount. This went terribly. It wasn't grabbing on and it was spinning inside the wall, and then it refused to come out. So I tapped it into the wall, let it drop down, and I used what we used before. A problem that I've had for a while is getting power to my workstation. Right now, the only thing supplying power is a single extension cord coming from inside through the window onto my workbench. I think it's about time to install a PowerPoint that sits on top of my workbench. This was pretty simple. I just drew power from inside the house under the sink, and it came outside right under my workbench, pretty close to where I wanted to mount it. Then it was just a matter of drilling a hole through my bench and feeding the cable up. To mount the PowerPoint onto the concrete wall, I'm using nylon anchors and then running everything inside a conduit to make sure it's protected. After a long time, I finally have a nice place to plug in everything I need, and it also makes a handy spot to put all my chargers right underneath the batteries. My mic did decide to die, but over here I'm just choosing between two different spotlights, and I end up going with the 4 in the row. We're going to be taking power out from this light, running it across here, overhead, and then connecting it to our lights, which then point down to wherever we want. I was running short on time and running short on daylight, but the workshop is now finished and this is what it looks like. It's not the biggest and it's not the best, but it's definitely an upgrade from the mess we had before. This sets me up perfectly for future projects, which I will be posting. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for those future projects.